The smoke is a signal of the mayhem in the distance. The death of a man in one part of London has triggered a wave of violence in neighbourhoods in the north and south of the capital. In Hackney, the disturbances began in the early evening. The police said they would have more officers on the streets of London tonight, and here they moved in force.
And how did a peaceful protest get out of hand so quickly and lead to this?
I mean, there are some basic things that I think have led people to be very pissed off and feel like they have a right to smash something, or they have a desire to communicate really in a physical, violent way that they are upset about something. A lot of people, the mainstream of this country, are genuinely pissed off that there are people that in positions of power, responsibility, well educated, well paid, who take advantage of a system and basically say, you know, screw you. And I think people want to say that, hey, if you're going to do that, I can do that too.
Okay. If you follow what's been happening, especially where the riots were, in a way you could see it coming, because this is where a lot of deprivation is, a lot of poverty, a lot of kids with no structure, no parenting, no education, no jobs, whatever. A lot of frustration, a lot of problems, and we've seen in the past that these problems were always there, but it sometimes needs a spark to blow up, and this is what happened.
I wasn't surprised. There's an increasing concentration of sort of poor people living alongside, you know, rich people with very big houses, and there's a lot to be angry about, and young people often don't know how to demonstrate that anger.
And I'm a young man myself. I'm the same age as most of the people that are out rioting, but instead I've got a job, and I know it's hard times for them, but that is not the answer, you know what I mean, what they were doing.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I mean, people want poor and they've got no money. I mean, that caused it. And I mean, I don't know what can prevent it, because, I mean, you don't get money too easily in this world.
I mean, I blame a lot of it on the government, man.
What, sir?
I blame it a lot on the government.
You blame it on the government?
Yeah, they should be doing a lot more for the youth.
They should do more for the youth?
They should be doing a lot more for the youth.
Okay.
You know, youth centres and, you know, get these kids off the streets, you know.
Well, I think we've got an awful lot of young people who haven't got anything to do.
There were three big kind of groups of causes, and one was the long-term trend. So you see in the UK, inequality has risen dramatically since 1979. We went from being one of the most equal countries to being one of the most unequal developed countries. So you see that disparity between the rich and the poor, and youth unemployment has grown steadily for the last 20 years. It got worse under the recession, but it actually has been twice adult unemployment for some time. You see this polarisation within the labour market between the highly skilled, who are highly paid, who are graduates, and then you get people that don't go to university, and there are fewer and fewer jobs for them to do, and they tend to be quite low paid. Then you've had what's happened in the last few years with the bankers' crisis, with people being very angry at bankers. You know, they're ripping us off, they're ripping the taxpayer off, and they're still getting their bonuses. And then you get the ministers as well. What happened with them taking or claiming much more than they should have in their expenses, and again they've been seen to be ripping us off. And then there's the austerity measures that have come in here, the very severe public spending cuts that have particularly hit youth services. So where the riots began in Tottenham, there were originally 13 youth clubs there. When the riots began, there were only 5 left, and 8 had been closed.
A bunch of stupid kids that had nothing better to do, who didn't even know the bloke who got shot, going out causing trouble. It was just like a massive uproar of idiocy.
I think a large element of participation was about having fun. I think like setting things on fire is fun, and breaking the rules is fun, and it's especially fun when you are kind of at a stage of transitioning to adulthood.
I just think like people just took advantage of something little and make it big, for no good reason. So yeah, everyone who's involved should be punished.
The crowd mentality or the herd mentality means that in your particular situation it's actually rational. So even though breaking into a shop and stealing something isn't something that seems rational for the average person at the average time, in a situation where everyone's doing it and where there's very little chance of getting caught, it suddenly becomes a rational thing to do. It becomes irrational not to do it because it's something for free with no repercussions. And I think that's the main thing that happened for a few days when it seemed like people were going crazy, is a lot of group behaviour.
People, saw this as an opportunity perhaps to riot and display this anger, and there is a thrill in that, and so there's those kind of at the moment factors that really make a difference, and young people being influenced by other young people and the technology, etc.
A lot of people took advantage of the riots, and the store was affected because the road was closed. As you can see across the road, that shop got burnt down. You can probably see it when you go outside. It got burnt down and they closed the whole road off. So my business was closed for about 10 working days, about 2 weeks.
Yeah, the police are just useless.
Yeah, because
some of the police people were the people who started off the riots anyway, so yeah, it's kind of their fault as well. So.
Yeah, in the future we'll have much more riots because police is not working very well.
I think prevention would probably be stricter police, more police.
I come from Paris, so I have never seen that before, and I really don't understand it, really.
Or the people that...
There weren't no calls for it, there was just people going out on the street.
Ja.
That was it.
Er is nu een ontruiming gaande van een kraakpand. Dit is vandaag ontruimingsronde. Er worden heel veel kraakpanden nu ontruimd in heel Oost. En waarom ik boos ben, is omdat er in Oost nu een heel naar beleid wordt gevoerd. Waar niet wonen centraal staat, maar geld verdienen. En vooral in Oost zitten heel veel woningbouwcorporaties die als doel en ook gesteund worden door de staat om te zorgen voor huisvesting. En op hetzelfde moment zijn ze nu alleen maar panden aan het slopen, panden aan het splitsen, alles zo duur maken dat iedereen die beneden die modaal verdient niet meer in Oost kan wonen. Ja, uit met dit circus. Waarom worden hier miljoenen uitgegeven om een speculant die zelf miljoenen verdient aan het leeg laten staan van een pand? Dat is toch geen politiek? Dat is toch niet hoe je met mensen omgaat? Ik denk dat de woede wel groter wordt. Okay. Ik denk dat absoluut dat op een gegeven moment is die grens overschreden. Krijgen mensen ook door dat ze gewoon collectief vanwege hun inkomen gediscrimineerd worden. Want dat is het gewoon. Want er komt mensen die kunnen hier niet meer zijn omdat ze niet genoeg geld verdienen. En als dat besef komt bij mensen, en ze beseffen dat ze niet alleen zijn, dan worden mensen boos. En dat is niet gek ook.
Riots.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's politics. I prefer not to speak. To be careful.
Yes.
About politics. It's dangerous to do some manifestation like that.